In the eternal twilight of the North Atlantic, 2.5 miles below the sunlit world, lies a silent kingdom. Here, pressure crushes with the weight of a fallen sky. No sunlight has ever pierced this gloom. This is the final resting place of the RMS Titanic. She is not one ship anymore, but two great phantoms separated by a field of scattered memories. The bow section, still recognizable, plows through the seabed as if frozen in its final desperate dive. Its once proud railings are draped in rusticles, orange icicles of metal-eating bacteria which weep slowly down its colossal hull. This is a place beyond time, ruled by darkness and immense silent pressure. The ship is no longer a vessel of steel and rivets. It has become a part of the ocean itself. It is a vertical reef in a world of abyssal plains. Strange, pale creatures drift through its empty portholes. Crabs with spindly legs scuttle across decks that once echoed with laughter and music. The grand staircase, where the life of the Gilded Age once paraded in impossible splendor, is now just a dark void, a gaping wound in the heart of the wreck. It is a monument not built by hands, but unmade by nature. A slow, inexorable return to the elements, orchestrated by the patient, grinding forces of the deep sea. Here, silence is the only language. The roar of the engines, the call of the lookouts, the shattering cry of the iceberg's impact, all are gone. They have been replaced by the soft, almost imperceptible whisper of deep-sea currents. These currents flow through the ship's ghostly corridors and cavernous holds. They carry sediment that settles like a fine layer of dust over forgotten relics. A wine bottle, miraculously intact. A pair of leather boots, resting side by side, their owner long since vanished. Each object is a quiet testament to a life interrupted, a story frozen at its most tragic moment. This is more than a shipwreck. It is a cathedral of sorrow, consecrated by the sea. Its immense form, collapsing under its own weight, inspires a profound and chilling awe. To gaze upon it is to feel the immensity of the ocean and the fragility of human ambition. The Titanic was the largest moving object ever created by man. Now it is a humble giant. It serves as a stark, humbling reminder that for all our ingenuity, for all our power, we are merely visitors in a world far older and more powerful than we can ever truly comprehend. The sea, in its patient way, always reclaims what is hers. If you found this journey into the deep as fascinating as we do, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more stories from the mysteries beneath the waves. Join us as we continue to explore the secrets of our world's most haunting places. To understand why she remains in the deep, we must journey back to a time of supreme confidence. The year was 1912. The world was brimming with a belief in progress, in technology, in the unshakable march of modernity. The Titanic was the ultimate expression of this belief. She was a floating palace, a testament to human genius. She was hailed as unsinkable. This was not just a marketing slogan, it was a statement of faith. A faith in a future where nature itself could be tamed by steel, steam, and sheer audacity. For a few glorious days, that faith seemed justified, as the great ship sliced through the calm Atlantic. The ship was a microcosm of its era, a world of stark contrasts held within a single hull. Below decks, in the heat of the boiler rooms, men shoveled coal, powering the dream. In third class, families full of hope journeyed toward a new life in America, their modest possessions packed away. Above them, in a world of crystal chandeliers and gilded panelling, the wealthy and powerful dined and danced. They moved through their opulent surroundings with an air of absolute certainty. The ship, like their world, felt immutable, eternal. It was a perfect self-contained universe gliding serenely under a canopy of cold, brilliant stars. Then came the iceberg. It was a rogue piece of ancient Greenland ice, a silent, indifferent mountain of frozen water. The collision was deceptively gentle. A shudder, a slight grinding noise that many passengers barely noticed. But below the waterline, the damage was catastrophic. The berg had opened the ship to the sea along a line of nearly 300 feet. The unsinkable was sinking. The faith of an entire generation was shattered in a mere 2 hours and 40 minutes. The impossible was happening, and the cold, dark water began its inexorable claim. The sinking of the Titanic was more than a maritime disaster. It was the end of an illusion. The chaos and terror of that night, as the great ship's stern rose high into the air before its final plunge, became a defining moment of the 20th century. Over 1,500 souls were lost in the freezing water. Their cries echoed across the dark ocean, then faded into silence. The story became a legend, a cautionary tale whispered from one generation to the next. It spoke of hubris, of class division, and of the terrible, impartial power of the natural world. For 73 years, the Titanic was lost. She existed only in memories, in court transcripts, and in the fading headlines of old newspapers. She was a ghost, a legend, swallowed by the vast, uncharted wilderness of the Atlantic. Many expeditions searched for her. They dragged sonar equipment and magnetometers across the seafloor, hoping for a sign. But the ocean guarded its secret well. The search area was immense, the depth extreme. The Titanic remained a phantom, her precise location a mystery that many believed would never be solved. The sea, it seemed, had erased her completely. Then, on September 1st, 1985, the ghost reappeared. A team led by Dr. Robert Ballard, using a new generation of deep-sea technology, finally found her. The first images that flickered onto their monitors were not of a grand ship, but of debris, a twisted piece of metal, a boiler sitting upright on the ocean floor, as large as a small house. Then, out of the murky darkness, the unmistakable form of the bow materialized. It was a moment of stunning revelation. The legend was real. The Titanic had been found, resting peacefully in the abyssal silence where she had landed 7 decades earlier. The discovery sent a shockwave around the world. It was as if a tomb had been opened. The ship was no longer just a story, she was a tangible place. The first robotic explorations brought back images of breathtaking poignancy. A doll's head in the debris field, a promenade deck, eerily empty, the ship's telemotor, the bronze wheel that steered its fate, still standing on the bridge. These images reawakened the world's fascination with the tragedy. The Titanic was not just an artifact. She was a time capsule, preserving the final moments of a lost era with haunting clarity. The discovery did more than just solve a mystery. It transformed the wreck from a legend into a destination. It became a site of pilgrimage for scientists, historians and explorers. Each new dive revealed more of her secrets, painting a clearer picture of her final violent moments. The ship's condition, the way it had broken apart, the trail of artifacts scattered between the two main sections, all of it told a story. The discovery gave a voice to the silence, allowing the wreck itself to bear witness to its own tragic history. The ghost had been found, and now it began to speak. In the wake of the discovery, an old dream was reborn. Could the Titanic be raised? The idea captured the public imagination. To bring the great ship back to the surface seemed like the ultimate act of reclamation, a way to, reverse the tragedy and bring the legend home. Proposals ranged from the fantastical to the seemingly plausible. Some suggested filling the hull with billions of ping-pong balls. Others envisioned a colossal cradle lifted by powerful cranes. One audacious plan even involved encasing the entire wreck in a giant block of ice, which would then float to the surface. However, the dream of raising the Titanic quickly collided with a series of brutal realities. The first is the sheer, overwhelming technical challenge. The wreck lies at a depth of 12,500 feet, under a pressure of nearly 6,000 pounds per square inch. This is a hostile alien environment. Any operation at this depth would be unprecedented in scale and complexity. The cost, too, would be astronomical, running into the hundreds of millions, perhaps even billions of dollars. It would be one of the most ambitious engineering projects in human history, with no guarantee of success. But the greatest technical barrier is the ship's own fragility. After more than a century in the corrosive salt water, the Titanic is not the strong vessel that left Southampton. The steel hull is brittle, weakened by decades of microbial activity. The rusticles that cover her are consuming the very iron she's made of. Many experts believe the ship is now so delicate that any attempt to lift her would be disastrous. The stress of being raised would likely cause the hull to collapse, shattering the wreck into a million unrecognizable pieces. The very act of saving her would almost certainly destroy her. This physical decay is a process that cannot be stopped. Every year the ship grows weaker. Sections of the deck have collapsed. The crow's nest has vanished. The captain's cabin is slowly disintegrating. The ship is in a state of managed, graceful decay. Raising her would not be a rescue. It would be a violation. It would be like trying to lift a cathedral made of wet paper. The forces required to bring her to the surface would tear her apart, leaving nothing but a cloud of rust and debris. The dream of raising the Titanic is just that, a dream impossible to realize. Beyond the immense technical and financial hurdles, there is a more profound reason why the Titanic remains untouched. It is a reason rooted not in engineering, but in morality. The wreck is not just a collection of steel and iron, it is a grave. More than 1,500 people died when the ship sank. Their bodies, for the most part, were never recovered. They lie with the ship, their final resting place consecrated by the deep ocean. To many, especially the descendants of those who were lost, the site is hallowed ground, a place of remembrance that demands our respect. This view has been passionately defended by survivors and their families. Eva Hart, a survivor who was 7 years old when the ship sank, was a powerful voice against any disturbance of the wreck. She argued that the ship should be left in peace as a memorial to all the souls who perished. To raise it or to salvage artifacts for commercial gain, she felt, was akin to plundering a tomb. This sentiment is widely shared. The idea of disturbing a mass grave for the sake of curiosity or profit is for many a moral transgression. The ship should not be a spectacle. It should be a solemn monument. This perspective has been formally recognized by international agreements. The wreck site is protected under a treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom, and it is recognized by UNESCO as a site of World Cultural Heritage. These legal frameworks are designed to protect the wreck from uncontrolled salvage and exploitation. They treat the site not as a treasure chest to be looted, but as an archaeological site of immense historical and emotional significance. The law, in this case, follows the heart. It acknowledges that some places are too sacred for commercial enterprise. Therefore, the decision to leave the Titanic at rest is an act of collective conscience. It is a choice to prioritize reverence over curiosity and respect over ambition. The ship is the guardian of the souls lost in the tragedy. It holds their stories within its decaying walls. To leave her in the deep is to honor a sacred trust. It is to acknowledge that our desire to possess and display history must sometimes yield to a higher duty, the duty to protect the dignity of the dead and to preserve the sanctity of their final resting place. And so the Titanic remains in her silent, dark kingdom. She will not be raised. Her slow, inevitable decay will continue, orchestrated by the currents and the unseen life of the abyss. In time, her famous silhouette will soften, her decks will collapse, and her proud bow will slump into the seabed. One day, she will be little more than a smudge of rust on the ocean floor, her iron finally and fully reclaimed by the planet. This is not a tragedy. It is the natural order of things. It is the final chapter in a story that began with such audacious hope. Her legacy is not diminished by her remaining in the deep. In fact, it is enhanced. Her inaccessibility gives her a power that no museum exhibit ever could. She remains a mystery, a place our imagination can visit, even if our bodies cannot. The ship and the stories she holds are all the more powerful for being just beyond our reach. She forces us to confront the limits of our own power and to accept that some parts of our history belong not to us, but to the world itself. Her presence on the ocean floor is a constant humbling whisper from the past. By choosing to leave her there, we learn a valuable lesson. We learn that not every mystery needs to be solved, not every prize needs to be claimed, and not every ghost needs to be brought into the light. Some stories are best told from a distance. Some monuments are most powerful when they are left to the elements that claimed them. The Titanic teaches us about hubris and heroism, about life and loss. But perhaps her most enduring lesson is about the wisdom of letting go, the wisdom of respecting the boundaries between the world of the living and the final silent resting places of the past. Her story will not end when the last piece of her hull dissolves. It will live on in our collective memory. It will continue to inspire awe, to provoke reflection, and to serve as a timeless parable. The great ship will lie in the eternal darkness, a silent testament to a single fateful night under the stars. And we on the surface will continue to look down into the water and to wonder. The Titanic is more than a shipwreck. She is a permanent part of the human story, her secrets kept forever by the deep, patient, and mysterious sea.